Hi there. Welcome to YouTube. This is the LowSide Theory, or that's what we're calling it for this first episode, of motovlogging, brought to you by Damage Manufacturing Supply Limited, www.damagemfg.com. Also feel free to check us out on Instagram, DamageMFG, and on YouTube, DamageMFG. Funny how that's consistent there. I'm coming to you live from scenic Portland, Oregon, or rather, not so live because this is a recording, and I'm going to be riding around and motovlogging the things that I do on my way to and from work and other places, just for the hell of it. And today, we'll be driving home from downtown scenic Portland, Oregon, where, surprisingly enough, it is not raining, contrary to popular belief. It is about 80 degrees and sunny today, but bear in mind that in Portland, sunny is a relative term. So it's actually cloudy and gray by everybody else's standards, but for us, this is warm and beautiful. Oh, look, there is some sun glinting off that other bike ahead of me. Now, I don't know how much talking I'll actually do in this. This is just a first run just to see how it goes. But I figure as I'm wheeling out of the parking deck and heading north in what will most likely be some ass-huge traffic, that'll be a good chance to give this a test and see how everything goes. So welcome to test try 1 as we see if this works. Now, as I said, this is sponsored by Damage MFG. I'm going to keep this anonymous just because that's the smart thing to do. Oh, look, there's a cop coming into the deck. I'm going to avoid that like the plague. Don't know what's going on there at all. People are being nice and waiting for me to go. And, oh wow, there's an Acura NSX. It's an older one, too. That's like our town Senna's generation NSX. That's a classic right there. You don't see that very often at all. Of course, there's also a guy on a bicycle. And I'm going to pull in behind the bike. Look at that bike. Look at that car. That's just gorgeous. That is a true classic, folks. You just don't see that every day. That's a highlight right there. It's pretty, too. Bet it runs like a dream. Alright, I think we're going to make the light here. And we've made the light, but I'm skirting the girl on the motorcycle because I don't want to kill her or run her down. But I get to follow that NSX. This is one of those moments when I wish traffic going north did not suck, because I would love to get in behind him and follow him and watch him just haul it. Of course, I'm still looking behind me to see if that cop's back there. Not that I did anything, but because cops, motorcycles, you know how it goes. But we're now across the bridge and heading north. I need to change lanes. And so does the guy who was in the white pickup truck. He wants to be where I am. Alright. As expected, not unsurprisingly, yeah, this commute may suck. Now, you may or may not know Portland, Oregon. It's a lovely town. I moved here 13 years ago. And funny enough, when I moved here, at 7 in the morning, you could go out in the middle of the I-5 freeway, which is the major north-south artery, and you could lay down in the middle of the freeway. And yeah, you could lay there for like 5 minutes and nothing would hit you because there was just nobody. Now, rush hour lasts all day, every day, in both directions. So it's kind of sucky in that respect. But we're following a Buick Enclave with a Klingon Empire sticker, and you can kind of see beyond him is Mount Hood, which in June is still snow-covered. If you don't know that about Oregon, Mount Hood always has snow. You can actually go skiing on the 4th of July. There's a glacier. It's pretty cool. Yep, traffic is kind of gross today. Oh well. Now, as I record these things, you're going to see lots of references to ducks and beavers. These are two of Oregon's sports teams. I couldn't tell you what sports they play, nor could I tell you what part of the sporting, thing they are, because I don't watch sports ball. I ride motorcycles. Come on now. But yeah, apparently people are big into ducks and beavers, as weird as that sounds. So yeah, if you're a fan of the ducks or the beavers, you'll understand what I'm referencing, and you'll be like, oh wow, man, he talked about ducks and beavers. And yeah, you'll be able to make fun of me because I'm totally clueless about all of it. Don't watch sports. Well, unless you're talking about MotoGP, because I do watch Premier Class Racing, because motorcycles. And yeah, if you follow that, Jorge Lorenzo's had a shitty season on the Ducati, and I'm kind of enjoying that because, yeah, he deserved that, I think, because I'm not a Jorge Lorenzo fan. But he just moved back to Honda. Actually, did he go back to Honda? No, yeah, he went to Honda, but I don't know if it was back because he was on Yamaha previously, and they dropped Danny Pedrosa, so I don't know what he's going to get for a ride next year. So that's kind of interesting. Because, yeah, there was no way he was going back to Yamaha with Rossi, because they got Maverick Vinales, who's having a better season than a world champion. Alright, so, that notwithstanding, this ramp is a single-lane ramp, but it always backs up, so it's now become a forced two-lane ramp just because that's what people do. So I'm skirting the edge here. You'll notice that I am actually staying in line in traffic. You may find this weird. This is not California. Lane splitting is illegal here. In fact, it is explicitly spelled out in the traffic code that lane splitting is illegal here. You cannot do it. It's a $300 ticket. And yeah, they will tag you for it. I know people who have been tagged for it. So if there's one thing I will not do, it's get a $300 ticket when I don't need one. Because there's a certain female in my life who would kill me for being that stupid. So yeah, I'm not going to be that dumb. So yeah, it does mean that I get to sit here in traffic, sadly, on a motorcycle. Those of you who do this will understand how my clutch hand will feel by the time I get home, which is sore. Although at this point I am in neutral, if you can see that. Hello, neutral. Because now I can let my clutch hand out and just walk my bike. There have been times on this commute when I have literally walked my bike halfway home, which is a couple miles. Now, bear this in mind. There are days when if I catch traffic just right in the morning, I can literally get where I'm going in 8 minutes. I may not be going the speed limit at that point. On the way home, sometimes it can take me over an hour and a half to go the exact same distance. It's kind of ridiculous. But as I was mentioning previously, Portland's traffic has increased massively in the last decade. Portland became the glory hole of the Pacific Northwest. Everybody decided to move here. If you couldn't afford to make it in California, or the prices had gotten too bad, your money from California selling your house would go a really long way in Oregon. And so everybody moved to the Silicon Forest. The upside is that property values went up, which was cool, because my house is worth more. And a lot of other things that were of higher value, middle class stuff, groceries, grocery stores, and other things, magically appeared in Oregon. But on the downside, traffic. Because everybody brought their cars. And in many cases, they brought their shitty driving habits, too. I'm not going to cast aspersions about where you're from and what that means in regards to you as a driver. But let's just say this. Some people are better drivers than others for sure. And I think that where you're from has something to do with that. This guy in the Honda is not going to let me over, is he? Well, he is now. Sorry, dude. And I'm going to see if I can't ghost into the left lane when there's a break. Is this guy going to let me over? He was nice. Of course, I kind of didn't give him a choice, but, you know, it is what it is. Now, as I blog about all of this, I may talk a lot about my commute and about the traffic patterns just because I know them very well. And when I took that ramp, the best thing to do is always get in the left lane as soon as humanly possible, because there's a merge coming up that takes one freeway into this freeway, but it's also an off-ramp for part of East Side Uptown, which means there's a lot of people entering the freeway and exiting the freeway. So if you're trying to skirt that, it's going to suck. So you got to be in the left lane. Also coming up, a little beyond that, is the merge ramp for the big bridge that goes west across the river. And that's a big merge point as well, so you got to be paying attention to that. Now, normally I would say it's a good thing that there's an HOV, that this lane becomes an HOV lane, which is pretty cool, because that means I can ride in it. But a lot of times people don't notice that it turns into an HOV lane, and they skirt it until the very last minute, and by that I mean 18-wheelers. Because there's nothing exciting quite like a big truck sitting in the HOV lane trying to merge into stop traffic. Alright, we're moving a little bit. This will last for a minute or two. Yeah, there's that first ramp as we pass that freeway interchange. And you'll see that second one coming up here on the right. Hi to that guy. if there's one thing that's a truism about Portland, other riders always wave. I rarely encounter anybody that doesn't wave to say hi, which I think is pretty awesome. And it doesn't matter if it's, you know, street traffic and you're going opposite directions, or it's the freeway. That person just nodded at us too. Even oncoming traffic in like 6 lanes of traffic, people will throw a wave to you, which I think is awesome. Because you know what? I don't know you, but we're both on bikes, so we're both cool. Because we're both doing the same thing and we both get it. So I'm a big fan of that. Now, I can't say I waved to all of the people on scooters, because, I mean, you bought a scooter. But, yeah, if your scooter's cool, maybe I'll think about it. Here's that other merge that's coming up, which is going to be obnoxious. And I'm sticking in the left lane because I'm hoping that the HOV thins out a little bit and I can scoot up traffic and kind of miss some of it. Hey, look, it's a Chrysler Pacifica. Now, why did I just mention a Chrysler Pacifica? Well, I mentioned the Chrysler Pacifica simply because it's one of only 2 cars that Chrysler currently makes. They make that and the 300. That's it. I mean, that's literally it. They have zero market, and nobody's paying attention to Chrysler these days. I'll be surprised if they make it to 2020. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm motovlogging and riding a motorcycle and talking about Chrysler. I read an article about it. Yeah, I did say I read an article about it. I do qualify as one of the educated, and yeah, I read the news voraciously. There's never enough news. Now, that being said, there's a lot of news these days, and some of it makes you feel kind of like you're in topsy-turvy land. That being said, I will cast no aspersions to one side of the political spectrum or the other. I do know where I stand, but I would hope to keep this thoroughly apolitical. Oh, look. Chrysler 300, Chrysler Pacifica. It's like bookends of doom. Yes, while I do this, I will probably talk about cars as I pass them, if something interesting strikes my fancy. So far, it's been Chrysler and an Acura. Go figure. Now, as I was mentioning previously with Portland gentrifying and us getting a lot more people in Portland, a lot more money is coming to Portland. So periodically, we will see Maseratis, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, other stuff like that. So it depends. But yeah, there's some money out there, and you'll see every now and then you'll see something really swanky and really rare, and you'll just be like, dude, that car's worth more than my education and my house. And Chrysler Pacifica guy is not maintaining a following distance, but in this traffic it kind of doesn't matter because traffic is just balls right now. And also notice that it's balls in both directions. This is Portland. Normally in most cities, you have rush hour going one way. It's either into the city in the morning and out of the city in the evening, or vice versa, depending. In Portland, no, it's both ways all the time. And there's nothing you can do about it. At least it's not burning hot. That's always a plus, because I am wearing a heavier jacket today. I'd like to give a shout out to Icon Motorsports, a Portland original. We love Icon Motorsports here at Damage MFG because we buy a lot of their gear, and it actually looks good. And I am wearing one of their jackets today. I might also be wearing one of their helmets today, too. So go figure. Yeah, Icon Motorsports, rideicon.com. So yeah, hit them up. They make good stuff. And they're Portland, so we love them. Well, I'm thinking about local Portland motorcycle things. This is that moment where I'll also give a shout out to CC Motor Coffee Company, because they definitely cater to a very specifically diverse part of the motorcycling spectrum, and they're also kind of nuts, which makes them cool. And beyond that, you've also got Two Stroke Coffee Company over in North Portland, or rather in St. John's, and they're pretty awesome too. So, yeah, hit up CC, hit up Icon, hit up Two Stroke Coffee Company. Give them some business. Least I can do is plug my friends, right? And of course, while I'm plugging my friends, I should also plug Damage MFG. Hit our website, go buy a t-shirt, order some stickers, rock our stuff. Everybody always asks me if we make armor, and unfortunately we don't, because that's not cheap. Oh wow, somebody did something stupid, I heard that horn. Yeah, but we make t-shirts and ball caps and sweaters and all kinds of fun stuff. So yeah, go check out our logos. we got some neat stuff. And yeah, that's www.damagemfg.com. It's a pretty unexciting commute today. I'm behind a Chrysler Pacifica. So far, nobody's done anything stupid, but of course, now that I've said that, somebody will do something stupid. Hoping not, though. I'd like to get home in one piece. And I think the missus and the cats would also appreciate if I got home in one piece, too. This may actually be a longer video today, simply because of traffic. Oh, the Pacific is leaving us. Goodbye, Pacifica. Yeah, this may be a longer podcast today. Videocast. Simply because of the traffic. But yeah, normally I can make this trip in about 8 minutes, which is pretty awesome. So you might get some very short podcasts someday. Sometimes you might get some very long ones. I don't know yet. We'll find out. This is all experimental. Oh, as we pass this Mazda CX-5, yeah, CX-5, check out that garnet red. That's a pretty red. In a previous life, I was an automotive painter, so I have a fancy for really well-done colors, and most cars just make me want to throw up with their boring, non-invasive, utterly safe and un-eye-catching colors. And I get that. Three other guys on bikes. I feel like car companies make cars in boring colors so that they don't distract you. But when somebody throws out a really good red or a really good blue or a green or an orange, something really swanky, you know, it catches my interest because it's good paint. Oh, looks like this BMW is going to get out of our way. FYI, if you own an SUV, I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of SUVs. I like small, fast things. Cars, motorcycles. The motoring press has been talking about the death of the sedan of late. I don't know how I feel about that, because I like sedans. Certain ones. Everybody wants crossovers and SUVs, and fuck that shit. Yeah, don't give me an SUV. Well, there's my exit right there. Beautiful. That worked out way too seamlessly. Yeah, I'm not a fan of SUVs. I like small little sports sedans. I like Mazdas a lot. Mazdas are a thing. Right now, I've been staring at Mazda 3 hatchbacks. I've been staring at Miatas, the newer ones, especially that RF edition. That thing is sexy, but there's no trunk space. And I won't lie, I've actually been kind of enamored with the Toyota 86. Don't ask me why. It's got this throwback thing going on. It reminds me of retro Japanese sports cars. I like the shape of it, and I won't lie, I really need to drive one and see what I think, because I'm curious. Now, as I'm talking about cars and all of these other fun things, you're probably wondering what type of motorcycle I'm on. Well, guess what? I'm not going to tell you. Because the minute somebody asks me what type of bike I'm riding, I always tell them the make and the model, and they always want to know, well, how fast is it? Is it 1,000 cc's? Is it 750, 650? It's like, why do you care? It's my bike. I bought it. I like it. It's fast. And it goes the way I want it to. And, yeah. CC ratings are not the most important thing in the world. How much you love your bike and how good you are on it. That's what matters. Now, of course, somebody's going to go, well, that means he's got a small CC bike. No, it doesn't. It just means I ain't going to tell you. Alright, folks. We're getting close to the end of the road for me, so I'm going to sign off and say good night, or good day, or good afternoon, or good whatever. And as I wait for these cars to pass, thanks for watching. I hope this wasn't too boring. I'm going to keep doing it, and hopefully we're going to see if something good comes of it. So, by all means, keep watching the LowSide Theory, courtesy of DamageMFG.com. Be safe, ride safe, be good.